Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Adriana, and today I want to share about my recent download that I've received during my annual water fast. I do this fast every year, especially after a lot of processes and a lot of things, just to get my body ready, clear some things out, stagnant energy in the body, and also to lean out for summer. This will be episode 1. I want to create this series based on this download because there's so many things that I received during this download that I cannot put everything in one video. It's going to be overwhelming, so I will break things down and create a series so that it's more understandable and more able to digest. Let's imagine, for example, there is a storm and we're at the beach in the water, and then we have our goggles on and we go underwater and we see the water is muddy. We can't see much. There's a lot of chaotic things going on. But when the storm is over, we can then see everything starting to subside and the water gets clear again. In the same way, when we process something, we're in the situation, it's hard for us to see things with clarity. It's hard for us to make the right decisions, or it's hard to gain perspective. So when the processing cycle ends, it becomes easier for us to gain perspective and to gain clarity for past events, things we've processed, and then we come out of this situation stronger and with better clarity and all the things, right? Every year around May, I do a water fast for a week, for 8 days, 10 days, it depends how I feel and what I want to do. Every time I do, I gain a new perspective over things, because for me, I don't just do it for physical purposes. I do this for all layers of consciousness, and I gain a new perspective of how the internal and the external reality corresponds to one another. And then there's puzzle pieces that just click, and I gain a new upgraded perspective on many things, and then I come to share them. So this is how I learned to process my reality, and this is what works for me. If you're not familiar with fasting or water fasting, I'll put some links below from my previous blog post and video where I explain more about it. So feel free to check them below. And so this time I want to share about the process of healing and what happens with our organs, the resonance of the organs. Like, the organs in the body are supposed to be in tune with one another so that our electromagnetic field can work correctly, can spin correctly. When we are in the storm and we are processing things, then we become self-destructive. There is things that come up to be seen and integrated, and we are clearing a lot of ancestral patterns, a lot of things simultaneously that we are not so much aware of, but we're processing it one way or another. We become self-destructive. All the things that are coming up, the energies from the sun, everything that is bombarding us right now, physically, energetically, planetarily, we're going through a shift, and all the things that are suppressed come to the surface to be seen and cleared, both personally and collectively. So this process reveals where we have leaks of energy, openings, and where we can improve. This can be seen as character flaws, habits, loops we repeatedly play. So when we are in this processing of a traumatic event or something that happens in our physical lives, we have these energy leaks, and the energies that are supposed to work with us to upgrade our system leak out from that character trait, and this makes certain chakras spin offline. This means that the tone of that chakra splits into different tones, and as you may know, chakras have their own energy vibration, their own frequency. When it splits into other tones, our chakras get out of sync, our organs get out of sync, and so our energy field doesn't really work correctly. We have certain imbalances in the body, in the muscle, in the hemisphere. Is something that we need to see there, to tune in and integrate. But when the chakras get out of sync, this creates like a chain reaction. with our poles, our polarity, and our magnetism, which then has an effect on our attraction and even our abilities. So when I felt that I needed to reset my body again and start over to see what my body was processing, what my emotional body was processing, what my mental body was processing, I rebooted my system through water fasting. And water is very important here. When we choose to self-regulate and become more familiar with the cycles of our body, with the cycles that we are in and the things that we process and the elements connected to each thing, we gain better clarity of how things work within and how things work externally. We also become more familiar with the ancestral cycles, the ancestral processing, what we're here to integrate and bring into wholeness. Wounding, maybe something that happens is not just in this lifetime, maybe it's a thing that has been repeated throughout our generation, previous generations, 9 generations before us, but we still hold that genome within our DNA that we're integrating, processing something that our ancestors maybe weren't able to do with those circumstances that they were living in. And now we're more able as the new generation to process something in a faster rate, in a better way, and bring things into wholeness. And the earth frequency as a whole, collectively, in a higher platform. Some of the most common traits that we integrate in this life through our experiences are traumas related to codependency, abandonment, loneliness, trauma responses like victim mentality, emotional eating, and so many other things, forms of addictions and all sorts of things, anger outbursts, controlling behaviors, dissociation, and all sorts of things that we process from our parents, grandparents, the entire lineage, right? These trauma responses or leakages, openings, or character traits that we have, that can be ancestral patterns or even archetypal functionalities, are where we can see those openings and we have the opportunity to correct those things, to heal and transmute what has taken place and what is taking place. This is related to the 4 elements because every element corresponds to an emotion, and every emotion corresponds to a color, and every color has a resonance and frequency, and it's related with our own blueprint, our own resonance, our own energy field, our magnetism, and our own geometry. So as you may know so far from the previous videos, we have the positive polarity and we have the negative polarity, which can be linked to the 4 twins. If you are in Gemini, I can say this as an example. In the Gemini sign, we don't have 2 twins, we have 4. So when it comes to our brain, we have an internal polarity and we also have an external polarity. Positive and negative, masculine and feminine, left and right. And when we synchronize the brain, we synchronize the organs of the body and our energy spins to activate. Each element has its own frequency and polarity, and it can be expressed through the 12 archetypes, the 12 character traits. I shared recently a blog post, I think, or a video. I will link it below, where I explain more about the masculine, the feminine, and the 4 twins, and what each twin is responsible for and how we can integrate that. This is how we integrate our inner child, but that's for another video, which I think I have created before. If not, it's going to be in the next videos to come after this series. So check the links below. But then there is the 5th element, which is more important than the 4 elements because it sits above the 4 elements. And here's where I want to invite you to episode number 2, where I explain what the 5th element is and how it relates to our energy field and so many more interesting things that I want to share about. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for being here and thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.